Good evening. Did you enjoy yourself this evening?
I did, yeah. It was great to meet some of my old colleagues and some new faces and to catch up with what's been happening at the university over the last 35 years.
What's your name? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm Robin Wills. I was on the first course and our head of journalism was Tom Welsh.
Oh,
and we started with 13 students and I believe they're now approaching 700. So it's been quite a journey and of growth. I'm now a freelancer at the BBC World Service. I have been for 11 years. I also do some other bits. There's a piece in the Athens News right now. If you Google it and click on travel, you'll see a piece by Robin Wills on the peninsula of Methana. So I do a bit of that, and I'm also a psychiatric social worker for Tower Hamlets. So I've managed to actually tie down 2 jobs for the last 10 or 11 years.
So what was your favourite moment at City, or most first memorable moment at City?
Well, I think it was just wonderful to be, I was already in the newsroom at the BBC World Service. I had a degree in politics. And I really wasn't sure what to do. I started writing a bit for the BBC World Service while I was a newsroom assistant. And then the City University course was advertised. And I just thought, what a great opportunity. And luckily, I got one of the first 13 places. And from there, it was just great to be within a small group, just 13. In a sense, we were pioneers. It was the beginning of, nobody knew how it would develop. I mean, it could have all ended up in a total fiasco. City didn't have any experience in journalism. In the past, it was largely engineering, as far as I know, and other courses. But here we were, pioneering journalism in the City of London, and what a place to do it, because London is one of the great cities of the world.
So what was your most embarrassing moment at City?
Well, I think probably difficult to say. I think it was shorthand was the difficult one, because we had Harry Butler was our teacher, who actually is the author of a lot of T-line books, and really it was very important to get the 100 words a minute, and I managed to pass, but in a sense it wasn't so much an embarrassing moment at City, but it was at the Northampton Chronicle, where I went after the university. I was sent to cover the one of the directors of the newspaper group that owned the Northampton Chronicle, his speech. And I had so much red wine that by halfway through the speech, I thought my shorthand note was readable, but it turned out it wasn't. And when I got back home at 2 in the morning, I was trying to write the story for the next morning's lead, or, well, certainly one of the items on the front page, and it was really gobbledygook. Luckily, the editor forgave me and helped me in the morning with my hangover as well to do the best we can to decipher my script.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
But that was, it really taught me a lesson that I know newspaper journalism maybe isn't getting the number of people that it used to, but there are still plenty of undergraduates at City, postgraduates rather I should say, but the importance of T-line is, or shorthand, is huge, you know, because, okay, you might not use it for 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 months, but then when you need to use it, you need to be able to function.
Excellent. So what advice could you give the new income journalism students?
Well, I think really just make sure you're fully grounded in the basics of journalism, whatever journalism you're in. So if it's radio, the techniques and technologies of the microphone, the studio. If it's newspaper journalism, then shorthand, well, shorthand all the way around, I suppose. But it's just those basics, because once you're out on the road doing a story, whatever it is, car crash, Prime Minister enters the country, there's a riot, there's a bomb gone off, you know, you haven't got time to just fumble around with technology, with shorthand. You've got to be able to be there with it at your fingertips. I went on to become a newsreader at BRMB Radio. For example, 3 months after I graduated, this was in 1977, Margaret Thatcher was holed up in a Birmingham pub, and I was working for BRMB Radio. I rapidly moved from the Northampton Chronicle to BRMB Radio. This was, as I say, graduated in '77. This was actually this was November '78, and Callaghan, the then Prime Minister, was going to call an election, and Margaret Thatcher was in the pub in Birmingham to respond to that call for an election. All the journalists were down in the bar drinking beer and other things, but we'd been there an awfully long time because Callaghan hadn't come on the television yet. So we started off there because we'd been following around all day, about 12, and then it became 3, and then it became 6, and quite a few of us couldn't stand very much. But anyway, finally Callaghan came on and said there won't be an election. Mrs. Thatcher was in tears. She came down, she was interviewed by the television people, and there I was, a young rookie, never interviewed anybody on the course, in fact, in journalism, because we didn't have a radio course then. Suddenly having to interview the future Prime Minister. And it was not too nerve-wracking by then because there have been quite a few pints, but I remember saying, Mrs. Thatcher, are you disappointed? I stuttered a bit on the disc, but got through it fine, and it was all aired. I think I sold it down to IRN in London because we could do that then. IRN was the independent radio news on LBC. So that was quite an exciting experience. Interviewing Maggie only, in fact it was about a year, wasn't it? A year after I graduated.
Excellent. Well, have you enjoyed the evening?
Yeah, lovely. Thanks very much.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Wonderful seeing everybody, and good luck to all other students, and I hope you all get what you want to.
Thank you.